This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Oh, so that's what it is. I knew it was something. Yes. Welcome all over the world. Television now. You can watch us, and Kelly Sutton's got a very special story. It involves Chris Young, Opry star. For those of you on radio, you just heard him as we're going into the break with a live performance from the Opry. And lots of other things to cover this morning. Adam Chaffins is coming to see us. You guys crossed paths at the ACM in Dallas.
I didn't even realize that he was going to be coming in. And I was like, wait, he was a part of the band. I gave him a hat. We'll see if he wears it today. I don't know.
And our former colleague, and you just saw her at the Opry, Devon O'Day, is bringing Bobby Tomberlin by because they're doing a writer's night to benefit the Mustang Heritage Foundation. That's all coming up this morning on Coffee, Country, and Cody. We'll update you on the work of the Wounded Warrior folks, too, woundedwarriorproject.org. Kelly?
Oh, we got all kinds of stuff to talk about. As we mentioned, incredible story. An airline completely destroys a local musician's guitar.
Is this an unnamed airline? Do we know?
It's United.
Okay.
You want me to call them out?
No longer unnamed airline.
Oh, just Google United breaks guitars, and Mr. Taylor will be happy to sing a song for you.
Maybe we should have that queued up later.
That was one of the first viral social media posts.
Oh, millions and millions of views on that. Yes.
So it's just, I've never seen a guitar damaged this badly. Seriously. It's pretty crazy.
It was like Mr. Monroe's mandolin. Didn't they almost have to put that together like painstakingly, like tiny little piece by piece? That's when you described it, that's what I pictured.
It looks like a wood chipper, basically. But Chris Young came to his rescue, and it's such a great story. So we've got all of that coming up for you. Also, want to let you know, Carly Pierce says she's a little bit more redneck than most people. And we agree. So stay tuned. That's next.
She's got a Kentucky birth certificate, right?
Hey, I've got one of those too. Listen.
Well, there you go.
We all Kentucky girls got a little mean streak. It's okay, Carly. That's why we're friends. Also, new stuff from Scotty McCreery. The new album from Morgan Wallen is out, but another girl got it a couple of days early. Lots of stories to talk about coming up.
Yeah, Rebecca and I have been married 45 years. I had a buddy one time said, you marry a mean old Kentucky girl, you'll stay married. There's no problem.
Till death do us part.
More Coffee, Country, and Cody is on WSM.
And the story on Adam Chaffins' brand new album, Trailer Trash, is front and center in this hour. Plus live performance with Adam. The Assembly Food Hall stage, and the stage that is wood from the 50s in the Ryman Auditorium is where you are this morning. Thanks for coming to see us, man.
Thanks for having me. It's
Charlie
an honor.
and I were reminiscing about Town Mountain. The Town Mountain band days would have been the first time we met you.
That's right.
More recently, when your wife, Britt Taylor,
That's correct. Yeah.
You came with her.
Yeah, this is my first time here in the new digs, and it's a real nice spot.
Yeah.
It's wonderful to be here.
Well, that Opry debut was 2018. I went back and shared a few memories with that. It was pretty cool.
That was. It's hard to believe. I feel like anything pre-COVID times seems like...
It's messed everything up, hasn't it?
It's like it's either like 3 years or 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I can never tell at this point.
Well, of course, the discussion off the air yesterday, knowing you were coming, when did the Chaffins and the Chaffins fall out in eastern Kentucky?
That's what we were talking about. I think, like I said, I probably have some cousins somewhere who...
what was the deal about your first grade class?
So, there were 3 Adam Chaffins in my second grade class. Each spelled Chaffins differently. Chaffin, Chaffin, and Ffins. So
down that hill,
right?
Highway.
I'm sure there was a couple, Baptist churches that were split up too, and the congregations were also split whenever that all happened. It was all one fell swoop, I'm pretty sure.
Well, tell us about the making of Trailer Trash.
Oh man,
let's harken back to. Did you grow up in a trailer?
I did. That was I guess the preface of the whole thing was I got a text message from Adam Wright. You're all familiar with Adam Wright, great songwriter.
Wright. Yeah, man.
Adam's a really good friend and frequent collaborator, and he sent me a text one day and said, "Hey, man, did you grow up in a trailer?" And I guess it's because I'm from East Kentucky, he just assumed. And but I texted him right back and I said I did. It was a double wide. And then he sent me this little clip, and I was like, man, let's just hang on to that for a little bit. And we got together and we finished Trailer Trash. And I guess the whole thing, he's like, I can't do this song because I didn't grow up in a trailer. And I was able to add the proper, double wide etiquette to the track.
And the funniest man in America, the late James Gregory, used to have a bit about, he said, they ought to make 2-story trailer houses for people that have money.
That right there sounds like a chorus. Everything you just said just sounds like a song, straight up.
And quite fittingly, on album release day, that you are wearing the album cover this morning.
You can only wear these things so often. It's kind of like a wedding dress, I think.
But you should have worn the shades. You should have rocked the shades.
Oh, I know. The shades belong to the stylist, Peyton Dale.
We love Peyton. She was just
You know
with
Peyton?
us.
Yeah, Peyton's the best.
We love
And
Peyton.
I credit her for all, if I ever look okay, it's because of her. That is for sure. The shades, especially at this hour, the shades probably would have behooved me before.
Well, what are some of the songs that are on? I mean, obviously Trailer Trash is on here, but what are some of the other songs that you decided really fit that theme? Because if that's the overarching theme,
Right.
I
Well-
want to know what's under that umbrella.
Well, the last single that came out from the project is called "Living Till My Dying Day."
Which we're going to feature first. this
Yes,
morning, yeah.
and I feel like that song is, just a. It was right after COVID, and I wrote that song with a really good friend Brian Simpson, and making music was just such a secondary thing in that time, and it was just for whatever reason I just felt like I have nothing to hide here. Like I just want to put it all out, and I think the first verse of that song kind of is my statement to everything up until that point when we were in the room that day writing that song. And I feel like it all just kind of, everything, even Dive Bar Moses, which is a song about, just a particular character that you see in any dive bar, hole in the wall in America, watering hole. And places I've found myself quite frequently playing hillbilly music from coast to coast. So I feel like it all just kind of summed up into this project. And I feel like, it's an EP because people call it that, but it's one statement to me. I don't feel like we've hodgepodged anything together. I feel like it's one cohesive thought.
It's 5 songs.
5 songs.
3 of which you co-wrote with Adam Wright, whom you referenced.
That's right, yeah.
And the other one was Brian Simpson, which is "To My Dying Day."
Yeah.
And then Bobby Hamrick.
Bobby Hamrick, yes. Bobby Hambone. Yeah.
I grew up in Rhode Island, Catholic, and every car I knew had the little dashboard Mary, the magnetic Mary on the dashboard. So, Dive Bar Moses, kind of a nice companion piece for me. I feel at home with this record,
We've made it a holy experience,
Yeah.
I hope. That was the...
Speaking of holy experiences, what is the backstory on playing Waylon's guitar
Oh, man.
that you got on loan from Bear Jr.?
Yes, I did, via Robbie Crowell, who played, keys and synth and organ on the session, long story shortish, I'd played that bass at Bobby's house many years ago when I lived in East Nashville, and it was like we were hanging out in his basement, and it was just sitting on the corner, and I was like, that looks like something cool, and I picked it up, and we start thumping on it. And he's like, "We think of that bass." It's like, pretty cool. He's like, "Yeah, Waylon Jennings gave it to me one time. I don't think he wants it back." and then years later, Robbie kind of took it and had it restored for him. And man, it's one of the coolest instruments I've ever played in my life. When we made this project, I was
What
like,
makes
"Hey."
it unique?
It's a early '60s jazz bass, and as I gather, the case from it had 50s on it, and it was given to Waylon, as I understand. His bass was destroyed in an airplane crash when he played with Buddy Holly, and Fender gave him that bass after it. So he had it for years, and I guess at one point, Bear Sr. had told Waylon, Junior needs a bass. And the story, I think, is Junior was working downtown somewhere, and Waylon just pulled up in his car and walked in. It might have been at Kinko's or something Bobby Bear Jr. was working at, and threw this bass on the counter. And, I mean, it's one of, like, with Waylon not even having anything to do with it, it's an incredible instrument, But
What brand is it?
It's a Fender. It's a Fender jazz bass. It's an early one. I mean, it's a relic. It is an absolute relic. And I have a 60s kind of Frankenstein P bass that, I played with it on that record as well. And it was just the perfect, accompaniment, and you can hear that bass on "Living to My Dying Day." I actually played it on that track.
Well, was there ever any consideration to do Clyde played electric bass from the J.J. Cale catalog? Waylon had a hit on it.
That's right. That'd have been really smart, wouldn't it? Oh man, talk about
that could be the bonus
country
track.
Funk. Yes.
Yeah.
Bonus track.
So not to get too deep in the weeds, but I'm curious, what would be the difference in a jazz bass, something like Mingus or Paul Chambers would have played in the 50s and 60s?
Well, the pickups are different
Okay.
in a jazz bass. They're just a different pickup system. And the P bass is the more traditional, bass, like as the jazz bass, was made to play a little faster and quicker in the 60s. Those cats were doing some quick stuff.
Yeah.
So they came up with that. But there's just a little bit different tone in it when you plug it in. So the pickup system's different. The action's a little different.
And then you feel like Bootsy Collins.
And then you feel like you got the funk in your soul. It's coming, just emitting from your hands like lightning.
Adam is here. Adam Chaffins with his new EP, Trailer Trash. It is out everywhere. Wherever you get your music, it'll be there. And we're going to lead with the song he was referencing a little bit earlier, Living It to My Dying Day.
More coffee, country, and Cody is on WSM.
Great to have Adam Chaffins back in the studio with Trailer Trash, his new EP, which is available wherever you get your music today. Frank Rogers produced this. He's been a part of, as a producer or a writer, like 45 number one records.
It's so many that I don't even know how he keeps count at this point.
Well, it's just about every Brad Paisley one, because if you
Yes.
look at the list, it's like a sheet and a half of Brad Paisley.
He's always relevant. Yeah. Like Frank is he's so good at so many different things. It's crazy. And he's so even keel about it. It's every time I'm around him, no matter what it is, whether it's producing my music or someone else, or writing songs or whatever, I just learned so much in such a short period of time from him, because he's been in so many different scenarios and settings, and he's such a big part of the fabric and history of country music at this point, with 45 hits. Like, it's just, and then, when someone says 45 number ones, you got to think about all the number 2s and 3s and 4s and 8s. Yeah. Like, because those are, usually most of the time the ones that hang on a little bit longer even, and he's had so many of those too. So, he's the man.
Well, what are you going to play first?
Maybe we'll just do the title track here. Right.
Adam Chaffins is here. That's the title track of his brand new EP that's out today. And those jazz chords.
I love that.
Mercy, Kelly Sutton. I just thought she's over here
Beautiful.
yacht rocking her little heart out.
I love that. Just the entire the way that you break it down, and you've got that little pause in there. It's beautiful.
Thank you so much. It's an
Love
honor
it.
to be here playing it with you this morning.
And we got to see each other when we were at the ACMs. You were there with Derek Wells and the band.
Yes.
What was that experience like for everybody at home? We were a part of the after party. So you have like big ACMs, people are winning awards, and then everyone comes rushing in the room, and you're the entertainment.
Yes. Wow. It was, it was something. It was, it was just a wave of things.
Sarah Evans came up and sang. Brittany
Spencer and Carter Faith.
Yeah.
And Crystal Gale, who's, another fellow East Kentuckian. So it was really cool to meet her and play her songs with her. Like those things, those award shows and types of things like that, spark these things that would never happen otherwise in any other scenario. And a few nights before that, I got to play at the gala, honoring Brooks and Dunn, and we played with Eric Church and Cody Johnson and Lainey Wilson, and Kix and Ronnie.
And then you've been out with Billy Strings and Leanne Womack.
Yeah, I've been really fortunate to kind of back up some really great people, and I've had just a really awesome career playing music and living the dream in so many different capacities. I have a very different outlook and view of how it all is shaped, and I think that's what makes a record like Trailer Trash.
Well, play one more from it. We'd
All
love
right.
for you to.
Let's see.
Kelly wants you to play Trailer Trash again.
I love that. That was so good.
I want to play one. This is for my wife, Britt Taylor, who we were talking about, who's home probably snuggled up with our dog Blue at the moment.
And happy birthday, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes.
You
I
celebrate
appreciate
with
it.
Janet Jackson,
It's right.
Rick Trevino,
Who
Deborah
else?
Winger, and Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan, that's right. I'm pretty sure Janet Jackson's on that list. Too.
Yeah,
Did you
yeah,
say
yeah, I
Janet?
said
Yeah,
Janet.
sorry. It's early.
And Liberace. It was his birth anniversary, yeah.
Wow. Well, we're all in the Taurus family, you know. So we're economic and we do well.
Listen, I get Lee Harvey Oswald, so you did better than me.
I'm sure if he were to keep going, there's probably some other folks.
Some assassin in there somewhere.
Yeah, there's somebody that ain't supposed to be. Anyhow, but this is a song for my bride. It's called Kentucky Girl. It's for all the Kentucky girls out there.
Hey, Sutton, go get your birth certificate.
Louisville, Kentucky.
That's right.
And I married one of them 45 years ago.
So you get it. You
yeah,
get
baby.
it, man.
We
know it.
We can be mean sometimes. We got a mean streak.
Adam Chaffins, our special guest, and how special to have your EP, Trailer Trash, released on your birthday.
It happens, I guess.
Yeah, congratulations.
Got it. There
Congratulations.
it is.
Come back soon, and our love to Britt.
I will. Thank you all so much. Appreciate it.
Kelly Sutton, I can't wait to see the video that goes with this story because you've told me off the air this morning about it.
I'm telling you, there's nothing that makes your heart sink than seeing a guitar that's in the airport that has just been completely demolished. And sadly, that has been happening to a lot of our musician friends. So as there's somebody I know, is it Ashley McBride? Somebody they actually have a tattoo that says, "My guitar will fit in the overhead." It's a tattoo on their body because, a lot of flights, they don't want to put it in the overhead. Anyway, Sam Hayes, he is a local musician. At one time, he was signed to Big Machine, and he was out playing gigs, as one does, and he checked his guitar, sadly, because they told him he didn't have room enough to bring it on the plane. Take a look at what the guitar looked like when he got it. It looks like it has been through a wood chipper.
Like a bear tried to eat it.
Truly, you've seen them where there's little nicks in them, or maybe the neck is broken on it. The entire body of this guitar, y'all, is smashed. Absolutely smashed.
It looks like it's been run over by a car.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
He was on a United Airlines flight, and he posted that on social media, and he said, this is my livelihood. Now what do I do? And surprisingly enough, he got a phone call from Chris Young that said, "Do you want another Epiphone or do you want a Gibson?" And he said, "Go down to Carter Vintage Guitars. I have something waiting for you." This is the video that Sam posted. Take a listen.
Guys, I had an Epiphone and he decided that wasn't good enough. Ended up swinging me this beautiful cherry red Gibson SJ 200. I don't know. This is an absolute dream guitar for me, and I just can't. I'm just blown away by Chris's generosity and just everybody reaching out. So,
isn't that cool? So thank you, Chris Young, for making a huge difference. They posted a picture together, so they have met, and I don't know if they were friends before or not, if he just knew him or if he just saw this, but yeah, he's got this big, beautiful new guitar, and it's not about money, right? But the guitar that was destroyed was probably $1,000 to $1,500. The guitar that he now has is more like $5,700 to $6,000. So,
and
he got an upgrade.
As an Alabama fan, I noticed his cap is also
cherry red.
That crimson. We'll call it crimson.
Crimson, yeah. It was just absolutely gorgeous. So, Chris, good on you, man, taking care of those musicians. And if anybody is watching or listening and you are on a flight and you hear somebody arguing about their guitar, take your case out and let them put their guitar up there. That's their livelihood. Charlie actually said, he goes, it would be like us handing our voice to somebody as we were getting on the plane.
And you'll get it back in 3 hours, and hopefully you'll still be able to talk.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell us again about the social media post back at the beginning.
Oh, years ago. I'm 99% sure it's Dave Taylor, and the song is called United Breaks Guitars. And he had a Taylor guitar. No, it wasn't Dave Taylor. It was a Taylor guitar.
Okay.
But anyway, if you Google United Breaks Guitars, and he tried to go through the appropriate methods of getting reimbursed, and he was not getting any success on that. So he posted a video. Dave Carroll, I think. And millions of views later, he got a great guitar endorsement from Taylor Guitars. So it worked out okay. Yeah.
It's Megan Patrick that has my
guitar
fits in the overhead. She's the one that has that, and one of her bandmates also has that after they fought it for so very long. Okay, Carly Pierce says, hey, guess what? I'm a little bit more redneck than most, and we agree in the best way. So she has a song out right now, Truck on Fire, and she said, this one really has hit home with everybody. Here's what she said about it.
You know, for me, I'm just in a phase. I've been doing this now 9 years, working on my 5th album. I'm just having fun and trying things, and I'll always have the ballads. That's where my heart is, but it's fun to do something a little different. I feel like I'm always a little bit more redneck than everybody else, and just a little bit more crazy. It's fine.
There you go. It's in the top 20 and still rising. That is our girl, Carly Pierce. We love you because you are redneck.
Where's Adam Chaffins to play Kentucky Girl again?
Cute Kentucky Girl.
More coffee, country, and Cody is on WSM.
Well, Don Schlitz wrote it and Kenny Rogers sang it. You can't make old friends.
That's right.
Hi, Devin O'Day.
Hello, Bill Cody, my brother from another mother. You know, Bill, I tell the joke. I say, Bill and I have been in radio since God invented it.
There was Marconi and then us.
That's right. That's right. But you know somebody, how old were you when you first started radio?
12.
Look at this guy next to me, Bobby Tomberlin, when did you start?
11.
Oh!
See, I knew there was one human that had us beat,
And you started in Alabama, right, Bobby?
Well, yeah, that explains it, I guess. No.
Child
It was
labor
just
laws are a lot more lax down there.
a little 500-watt AM radio station, and I found, the Billboard magazine resource book, and it had, Johnny Cash Enterprises, Hank Williams Jr., Bill Anderson, and I would just call as a kid, can I do an interview with Mr. Cash? Well, okay, next Wednesday, 2 o'clock, 10 minutes.
Wow.
Isn't that the coolest story?
It was easier, back then.
Yeah.
And did you start in Louisiana, Devin?
Oh, yes, KRRV, yeah. And
what town is that? Licensed?
Alexandria,
Okay.
Pineville, where the state mental institution is.
That feels right.
Everybody's got to be from somewhere.
You got to be from somewhere. And my sister, Faith Ford, the actress, she sold her place in L.A. She lives there now. She and her husband, they live there to take care of Mama.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's the first time I ever saw Devin's mother. I could just hear my mother say, "You sure do favor your mother."
Oh, we do not fall far from that tree.
How is your mother?
She's doing great. She had a bad stroke a couple of years back, and they said, "Oh, she's never gonna walk. She's never." I said, "They had met my sister," and 2 months in that wheelchair, and man, she's doing 45 minutes on the bike every day, and Faith gets her up. Now she's not taking off and taking a jog, but she's up on her feet every single day, and she has to walk around, and she'll call me. She says, "I'm just sitting here watching the birds." That's a big thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mama Pat.
Tell me about this music and auction that's taking place next week on Tuesday that you guys are a part of and benefits an organization that you're deeply involved with.
Oh, yes. Well, everybody knows the Mustang Heritage Foundation really has its roots in Middle Tennessee. Your neighbor, speaking of your neighbor, Paula Carr and her late husband Randall are responsible for rehoming about 20,000 Mustangs.
Yeah, I've always said that we didn't have John Wayne in Cross Plains, but we had Randall Carr.
That's right. He's a close second. I'm going to tell you right there. And Paula, don't ever discount her because she had a thing with those horses. But that we really had, and we just moved all the offices back here. So now we're a Middle Tennessee organization, and I moved from marketing to fundraising because I was raised by a preacher. I know how to ask for money.
That's right. That's good.
And the first people to help in any cause are songwriters. A house burns, someone has cancer, you need a mission trip paid for. Songwriters step up, and I call Bobby Tomberlin because he's just one of my favorites of all time. And I said, I'd like to have songwriters do an iconic song, and then we're going to auction a hand-signed lyric of those. So I've got 9 songwriters with iconic songs. People like Steve Dorff, Across My Heart.
Yeah, I wrote that one too.
I wrote that one too.
That's his autobiography.
book, yeah.
And no, isn't that the truth? You know, Leslie Satcher, Troubadour.
Yeah.
And one of my favorites, I'm Moving On, D. Vincent Williams. That song for Rascal Flatts was just an incredible song.
Skip Ewing's going to be there.
Skip Ewing, who
Yeah.
is, by the way, our new chairman of the board.
Oh, nice.
He stepped in as the chairman of the board, and
He's still in Wyoming?
he's still in Wyoming, and that's really one of the hubs of where Wild Horses are located, and maybe not for long because there's a rumor that they're going to try to get them all out of there, and so it's a real passion project for him.
So they're moving to Middle Tennessee as well, like the rest of the world?
I know, that's perfect. We'll take them. Isn't there somebody here we can bring them here? Paula said, I'll take them. I'll take a few. They might be living in your neighborhood.
It may be, because it's just across the pasture. So, Bobby, who'd you first write with when you got to town?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, Mel Tillis brought me to town and paid me $100 a week to write for his publishing company. And I thought, man, I've hit the jackpot. And I did. But
How old were
the
you?
rent
When was
came
it?
due.
Dude.
And then I went to a Kroger grocery store and checked out Diamond Rio, Faith Hill, Patty Loveless.
Didn't you check out Conway Twitty?
I did. But anyway, some of the first writers were writers at Mel Tillis's publishing company. But it wasn't that many years till Whisperin' Bill Anderson. I approached him at the Opry one night. I was really brave because I hadn't had really any big success at that time. And I just put 5 songs on a cassette. And I'm like, I know you don't need another co-writer, but if you will listen to my songs and if you want to write, give me a call. And the following Monday morning, he called me. And that started a long-lasting friendship and, a co-writing relationship.
What time period are we talking about when you got to town, and how old were you?
It was 1990. I was in my early 20s then.
Yeah, because I know you were here when I got here in '94.
Yeah, it was 1990. Yeah.
We were talking earlier that Billie Dean was your first cut.
Right.
Linda Davis was your first single.
That's right.
But how much of a game changer was One More Day?
Oh, it changed everything, Charlie. I mean, it was because it was a crossover record, an impact record, and it allowed me to get in rooms that I never would have been able to get into. I mean, I would go to L.A. write with Paul Williams, Mac Davis, and people like that, and it's still, it's still very much alive after all this time.
And Devon, of course, we know you as a part of maybe the most successful radio show this town has ever known, the House Foundation, with a legendary and Country Radio Hall of Famer, Jerry House.
Yes.
And during that time, you were also co-writing in addition to being on the radio.
We wrote only. It's so funny. I laugh because we wrote so much together because we were the only ones that had that schedule. And I'm going, how anyone looks like Kelly Sutton after you have to get up at o'clock.
She's something, isn't she?
I'm telling you, I saw her the other night and said if I had to stay up with Taylor Lynn the night before and then show up the next morning, I would look like I'd stayed at a church lock-in. I mean, it would be awful. Hair sticking up. For those people in the South who know what a church lock-in is, but you do.
Oh, absolutely. I was raised by a preacher too.
Yeah, you know what that is. And I go, oh my Lord, have mercy. But you make it look so easy.
You're so sweet.
I did want to ask too, that picture of you and Blake Shelton, like years ago, how did you get younger and he got older?
Girl, look, I got good doctors.
But he had better hair.
He had good hair in the
He
day.
always had good hair.
Oh my goodness.
But anyway, I started writing with Jerry, and the first time we wrote, it was with he and Billie Dean were writing, and he said, "Well, Devon's really funny. Why don't you come write this one with us?" And we wrote this funny song that ended up being recorded by Ray Stevens and Jerry. And then that was my first.
What was the title?
Meanwhile.
Okay.
Meanwhile is a funny song. Basically, meanwhile, back at the farm, it's about cheating and stuff. It is funny.
When did you write the big one? Talking about game changers with Bobby earlier.
97. That was #1 song, and it was #1 in like 6 weeks. It went to #1. It was one of the fastest #1s in Georgia's history. And George, I'll never forget. He called the office, and he said, I'm gonna cut the big one. that was his big joke. He laughed and he yelled it going down the road at Jerry in a convertible. He saw Jerry go, "I'm cutting the big one," because George has a wicked sense of humor.
All over the world on WSM Radio.
Coffee, Country, and Cody is on WSM.
Well, the Mustang Heritage Foundation benefits from the work that Devon O'Day and Bobby Tomberlin are a part of, along with a lot of other folks next week on Tuesday. So give us a venue, start time, all that, Devon.
3rd and Lindsley, 3rdandlindsley.com. Doors at 5:30. It starts at 6:30, and you can get tickets in advance at 3rdandlindsley.com. There's general admission and VIP tickets.
And there's live performance as well as the auction, correct?
That's correct. Oh, yes. One tune per person, or one horse per person. If you'll take one home, I'll get you one.
And run the lineup again, including
Oh,
Bobby.
my gosh. Other than Bobby Tomberlin, there's Leslie Satcher and Skip Ewing and D. Vincent Williams. There's one newcomer, Garrett Bradford, who's been to visit you on your show, who had over 2 million streams of the song he wrote for Yellowstone. Closing the show is going to be Friends in Low Places, Earl Bud Lee, my wise man from the mountain. Steve Dorff will be there.
Does he Dave Gibson's name on there too?
Dave Gibson will be there. Ships That Don't Come In. Frank Myers, I swear. How many people got married to that? Well, you can actually come and get the signed lyric, and he does a real special one. Leslie's are beautiful. They're on black with silver writing. It's really nice.
You know, it's crazy you mentioned Frank. Jason Seaver was just in studio with us last week, along with a 100-year-old World War II Iwo Jima veteran, and he and Frank and Mr. Graves all did a song together. So he's 100 years old, and he's got his first song written.
And this morning,
There's still hope.
Sands of Iwo Jima is what it's called.
That's amazing.
preceding you this morning, Adam Chaffins was here, and Frank produced his new album, his EP that came out today. And now that credits, was it?
Well, that was Frank Rogers. Frank Myers, the
okay.
songwriter.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
uh-huh,
All right.
yeah.
Well, but Frank Myers is producing now, so that's the other thing. Is that it's a circle. It's a circle. See how right there? It's circle.
Oh, and by the way, the performance stage is the same wood as the Circle. This is early 1950s Ryman Auditorium.
No kidding.
Yep.
So from the Assembly Food Hall stage, Bobby Tomberlin, play something for him, son.
I'm going to play you a song I wrote with Buddy Cannon.
Oh, and God bless Buddy. He's been going through it.
But he's doing good now.
Yeah.
We wrote this song, and we just put it down on a cell phone recording, and he texted it to Willie Nelson, and Willie loved it, and he recorded it on his last record.
So a little preview of what you're going to get next week on Tuesday night at 3rd and Lindsley.
That's special.
Now, that was not your first Willie Nelson cut, because there is a Willie Nelson-Barbara Streisand duet that has Bobby Tomberlin in the songwriting credits. That's a nice duo.
Oh, man, that's just the coolest. When some of your heroes, and I'll tell you really quickly something that happened a couple of weeks ago. Buddy Cannon and I were writing, and we started this song. And he says, you know, Willie might like this and may like to work on it. And he texted what we had to Willie, and he wrote the second verse. So now I can say I wrote a song with Willie Nelson.
You got to co-write. I love what Buddy says about Willie's albums. He goes, you know, for most people, they finish an album and then the work begins to promote the album. He said, with Willie, when he finishes an album, that's the end. We now start the next album.
Right. And he keeps cranking them out, so there'll probably be 2 or 3 albums before the year's done.
Speaking of songwriters, the new one, the Beautiful World, is all Rodney Crowell songs.
I know.
That he was
And Buddy, he's just the perfect fit, you know, for Willie. To work with Willie. I mean, he's a treasure.
Do you share the same hometown as Hank Williams?
No, I'm from Luverne, Alabama, which is 35 miles from the Mount Olive, Georgiana community where Hank Williams was born and raised. But I was raised around all the old band members, family members, and there's so many buildings in my hometown where Hank played. I mean, there's actually pictures of, you know, a garage that's there now. It used to be a Chevy dealership, and there's a picture of Hank and Audrey performing 1 year before his first record was released.
How about that? They played department stores, high school gymnasiums.
He probably stood on this piece of wood right here.
Yeah, well, my mom, you know, he and Audrey would come to her little country community school, and you know, I mean, it's crazy.
What did your mom do? Was she a teacher?
No. When she went to school.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
And,
wow.
I mean, There's all kind. People don't realize that he was singing so many of those songs that became hits while he was down there. Songs like Honky Tonkin', I Saw the Light, and Honky Tonk Blues. He was performing those at those venues down there.
Could you imagine being in elementary school and coming home and saying, Mom, this man came in and played a song for us. Let me sing it for you. And it would be something like Honky Tonk Blues.
And those old Mother's Best radio shows here on WSM. I remember hearing him. They were going to do a new song. And he says, as Carl Smith would say, I can't help it if I'm still in love with you. And then he played it.
That's right.
That's
Devin,
amazing.
Give us more information again for people just joining us about next Tuesday.
MustangHeritageFoundation.org is where you can go get more information about how we save Mustangs. And if you want to go to the event, you need to get your tickets now. It's going to sell out. It's going to be a great show. 3rdandlindsley.com, May 20th. That's a Tuesday night. I know it's a school night. It's okay. It's all right. We'll give you permission. Doors at 5:30, 6:30. The show starts. And you go to 3rdandlindsley.com to get your tickets. Easy peasy.
Thank you both for getting up
Thank
early
you.
and coming in, all right?
It's a
seeing
pleasure.
you.
It's a pleasure to sing in Roy Acuff's song.
It's a pleasure is what it is, as Lester Flatt would say.
pleasure.
A pleasure. With Bobby Tomberlin, Devin O'Day, Coffee, Country, and Cody.